Now then, welcome back to another episode of Avant 3 on the ftog'ians server. How you all doing today? Wow. Today, right, I've had a few problems sorting out my sound issues. I unplugged some stuff and plugged it all back in and had to reset everything. Didn't I there, dude? I've been talking to him for ages and the recording's not listening. So hopefully this one's turning out okay. Thank you for joining me again today for another Avant 3. It's come to my attention. There's been an issue over at spawn. And I can't fly. I can fly. Okay, got a new keyboard. The new keyboard has lots of quiet keys, but it's a wireless keyboard, and I don't like exactly how it jugs around a little bit. We've got a beacon here at spawn now. This is Non-Sanity's shop, I believe, it started out. Non-Sanity Star Shop. Yep. It's developing. It's being done. I'll leave you to watch his episodes for that one. We've also got Holes in the World again with recording software on. Hang on. Here we go. Do a little reload of all the chunks. Somebody is building an arena at spawn. Looks pretty cool. That's spoilers though, so check that out in a future episode of somebody's. But recently, Grok's Block Shop, Grok, who was with me in the last episode, he built this shop out of cobblestone. And if you've seen the videos, you'll know that him and Torgal, there was a disagreement over buildings created from cobblestone. And the cobblestone is frowned upon at spawn. Frowned upon as a building device, as a building structure. Let's get back over here where I can get my frame rate back. Whew. I don't know what it is over there that gives me a frame rate lag. I think it's that new building over there. So the oldie mob farm, the very vanilla XP farm by me earlier on, used to be just a little cobblestone shell. Well, I kept the cobblestone shell, but I've just hidden it under a big tree. I've done a bit of a custom build. It's okay as a custom build. I'm kind of liking it. It's okay. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Another little custom build tree next to it. I don't really stand out for doing custom trees. I haven't really done a lot of custom trees. I've got another custom tree there and there as well. Just some more spruce trees to give the allure of coming round here and seeing the forest setting out there in front of you, and you've got this to walk between on the way through here. The reason I've turned my attention to this was not only because of the fun and games between those two about cobble buildings at spawn, and I thought, well, I better do something about my cobble building at spawn before they turn on me as well. There is plans afoot with the FTOG server members to do some building at spawn, to sort the spawn setup out. Collab with spawn to be done soon, so hopefully you'll see lots of things. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it to the collab, so I thought I'd let you see what's going on first. People have been gathering up materials and getting up other bits and pieces like leaves and things, which I'll put all my spares in here now. And I will put these bits of wood in there as well because I don't need the spruce anymore. There we go. I've added to it. We're going to be making paths and areas and parks and things to tie in all the builds at spawn together, because there's quite a few things that have been built around the place, but the actual spawn itself has not been tied in right. The only bit I've done is this bit by the side of my house, just this bit here, just because when I was building it and setting it up, there was a fellow member who had a base just down that hole there. So I made a little path leading towards it for him. But now I don't think he's there anymore, so don't really need it, but the path still stretches out a little bit. Learn about doing roads and having a great big park area in front here and having some other roads going off in that direction and around there a bit, and linking all the places together in a spawn setup, in a spawn roadway system and build. Well, that's all good. Hopefully I'll be able to join in, but because of the time zones issues, I may not be there for very much of it. I may be able to grab a couple of hours helping them out. So I thought I'd make a head start and start doing things like that before they moan at me and start pulling down my cobblestone builds and stuff. I've got a few other little bits and pieces that I've been doing as well. Now that we've lost the storage network fully, all of the storage network stuff in here is gone. I actually took it down physically because I didn't want any block remaining. One of the things we found when Tinker's was removed, I don't actually know if it's still down here, let me check. One thing we found when Tinker's was removed was that all of Tinker's disappeared, but then when Tinker's was added again, bam, oh look, some of the blocks were still there. They had still been given the ID, as it were. So I've got some of the seared tank and the smeltery drain. Oh man, chunks. Yeah, the seared tank and the smeltery drain and this casting table all reappeared after it was put back in. So I wanted to make sure that that didn't happen, just in case the storage network mod gets pulled out and put back in again. I knew it was getting pulled out, but whether or not it gets pulled back in again, I thought I better remove the storage network mod items altogether, so they weren't ghost blocks or any problems with the chunks in the future. So I took it all apart, put it all away, and I still haven't repaired it so it's still working or anything. I think the solar panel that I've got on the roof can bring power down here enough to do anything I might be doing down here. This lot doesn't really need that much power, it just needs items. Needs putting the strainer slot in. We've also got a bait slot in these strainers now, which I didn't know before. That came in one of the updates. But as you can see, they're not doing anything. And this got filled full of sticks instead of string for the recipe. So it wasn't auto-replacing. But that's okay, because we got lots of materials from it when we were getting set up. And I don't really need those materials anymore because of the ore miner and the resource miner that we set up last episode. I'm going to give you a quick glance at what's going on there. I'm going to have a teleport over. So over here, I've set up a couple of little things to run off the ore processing side of things, the ore creation, should I say. So for a start, I've now got a modular storage. For the same modular storage remote storage module ID 14 is over this side and over that side. So they've both got the same remote storage module. They've both got the same remote storage module in there. And then they're connected up to a remote storage module exactly the same in here as well. So all of the items start getting pulled out just when you need them or where they need to go. And I've upgraded all the void barrels. I've made them more void so that they will get a certain amount and then void the rest off, like 352 stacks of hardened clay before it gets rid of hardened clay. In this one we're good with compacting because they do 512 blocks of clay, and then it'll probably do 512 stacks of clay blocks, and then stacks of clay, so I should have tons of clay with that. 1024 stacks available of smooth stone, currently at 410 stacks just from this. So yeah, lots of building blocks being set up and built and sorted out, but that means that all of the ore processing and resource gathering and stuff goes and gets put away very quickly. Let me get back up here. And as you can see from what's left in here, lots and lots of ores that the ore miner has been producing while I've been offline sorting other things out. I actually set up another 300 slot or 300 stack set up over here, and it is filled up the 300 stacks. I've also transferred all the ores that I'd got previously from mining and stuff that I haven't been using over here as well. So I've got lots and lots of ores in there, and then down here in kind of the basement level, I'm figuring the basement level of this particular thing, I'll connect it up to that so that it's kind of accessible. I've put all of the blocks of stuff that I don't intend on using very much, and just given them a capacity, a stack limit, and a void, and a controller. So it tries to feed directly into the controller here. From here, from this modular storage, all of those blocks that it can put into that drawer controller, into these drawers, will get put in there and voided off when we get a certain amount. And then I've got on the back of these inputs, inserting certain ores and things that it's producing to put them away and only them into this network storage, like so. So all the vanilla ores and things like that. And it's kind of a silk touch because it automatically silk touches. I mean, I've got 2.5 stacks of diamond ore in there, loads of quartz ore, loads of redstone ore, loads of lapis ore, just loads of every ore type coming in from the void ore miner. But because we had immersive engineering added in, we also ended up with these storage drawers extra. There was an extra 7 or 8 actually, because that is also just coming in now, dimension shards. But 6 there, and then there's copper, which is actually going in here as well. Copper ore is there. There we go. Copper ore from immersive engineering is now coming into the system as well. So I've got lots of ores coming in, and the next thing I wanted to start sorting out was processing in this area. Processing all of the ores that end up in this place. So there's a few things that can be processed well and a few things that can't be processed well. Like, for instance, lapis ore and nether quartz ore and redstone ore, I should probably think as well, all don't have the 5 times mechanism ore processing because they're not actually ores. If we check out the uses of the lapis here, we could smelt it to get 1, we can hit it to get 1, we can crush it in an actually additions crusher for 12, and there's 2 lapis there, and there's 1 there, and there's 8 there, and there's 8 there, and there's a crusher there from engineering. But the enrichment chamber that I'll be using for the ores generates 12 as well. So the best option by far seems to be either an actually additions crusher or an enrichment chamber. Now when you look at the next one along, these quartz ore, you can smelt it for 1, you can crush it for 3 in an actually additions crusher, but if you go through to the enrichment chamber you get 6. So I may as well be doing all of my ore processing in mechanism. So we've got to make a load of mechanism bits and pieces to go into a large factory type place just here in today's episode. Okay, so from my limited understanding of mechanism and how it all works, there are a few blocks that are like the end result, and this is like the ore doubling process. So mechanism has 5 levels of ore doubling. So you can take the initial ore and put it straight into a furnace and just do it times 1. Just make it like that. There's the other process that then doubles it, and there's another process that triples it, and then you add another process on. But it always has the same end result. Always has the same end result. Hey, Mr. Enderman, what are you doing in here? Do you want to go for a fly? Get out of my house. Get out of my spaceship. Down you go. Bye. Noisy things. Yeah, there's always the end result. So I've decided that I'd have a chamber here, just off the corridor. There would be the end result of whatever it is, right? And these particular ores are the things that I'm getting currently in excess of in the ore production. So we're getting coal ore, lapis ore, redstone ore, emerald ore, diamond ore, and nether quartz ore. None of which need to be refined into ingots. So the best method of doing anything with them, as I was showing, is uses of coal is going to be smelting gives us 1, crusher from that gives us 3, furnace gives us 1, squeezer gives us 4, that gives us 4, enrichment chamber gives us 2. So we work out what we want. This is 3 plus that and potential chance of diamond. Sag mill might be the best for coal because you get a chance of diamond. And this crusher is far too big to be doing 4 all the time. Now, 2, the amount of coal ore I get, 2 coal, that's going to be quite a lot. Enrichment chamber wouldn't be too bad. But I'll probably go with the slag mill just because I'll put flint in there and try and figure that one out. So we'll get rid of that. So coal is not one that I'm going to be dealing with. As we saw though, lapis, the best use of lapis, I mean this just gives us a bonus lapis maybe and a bit of cobblestone. The best use of lapis is the enrichment chamber for 12. And the crusher only gives us 9. Okay, so that's going to be the best there. Redstone wise, the sag mill gives us potentially 9 plus a silicon. Alloy smelter, no. Whereas the enrichment chamber gives us 12. Okay, so the enrichment chamber is better than the others in most cases. Now I could do the sag mill for the coal. Maybe I'll just set it up so that they run in straight through the enrichment chamber and just double up my coal from the ores instead of worrying about it too much. Because there's plenty of things that need an enrichment chamber. So I will process things in such a way. Now, to get this working, I'm going to need another enrichment chamber. And be able to... Yeah, there we go. I'll need another enrichment chamber, which just needs power. Put the item in, and it drills it out, kills it off, sorts it out, right? That's all there is to it. But enrichment chambers aren't exactly cheap. Not exactly cheap. But they're going to be useful. And when I search for enrichment chamber, I get this like tier 1. And then there's a factory, basic enriching factory, an advanced enriching factory, and an elite enriching factory. Now I don't know what the difference is between an enrichment chamber and an enriching factory, but I think it would just produce more. That's what I'm expecting. So it's a simple enough recipe. The basic conducts need some osmium with redstone in the infuser. The steel casing was possibly the hardest because it needs steel ingots, and steel ingots require steel dust, and steel dust requires us to infuse enriched iron with coal or carbon. And in order to do that, get the enriched iron, we've got to do iron ingots with coal. So we've got iron ingots with coal to get enriched iron, then iron ingots, enriched iron with coal to get steel dust, and so on. So I've made a little bit up here. I've made a little bit. It's now turning into immersive engineering, so I've done 12. And this is the recipe to get kind of the machine block, the steel casing, sorted out for it. So there we go for that one. And now, these basic circuits were easy enough to sort out, so we should be good to just grab one of those. I did make a few, just because. We'll get the enrichment chamber. Now, the enrichment chamber is exactly the same as this enrichment chamber. So I know what enrichment chamber level 1 does and looks like. So I want to see what the factory looks like. And again, it's just some more basic controls with some other bits and pieces. And that's not quite what I wanted. Let's get rid of that and put the chamber in there. There we go. Awesome. And upgrade it to a factory. Now we can have a quick look and see what the factory does. I'm going to put it to power, even though I don't have to worry about it. Alright, so it looks like it does 3 things at a time. Let's just see. 1, 2, 3 things at a time. Yeah, nothing goes into that slot. That's probably a power slot, like putting a battery in or something to charge up the machine. And I'm not sure what this is. There's some other bits and pieces here as well. But yeah, this is doing 3 at a time, which is pretty dang awesome, isn't it? 3 at a time, didn't take long to do. So yeah, that's cool. I like that. So what does the next one up do? So advanced enriching chamber requires all this lot. Let's see, this is just enriched alloy, a basic circuit enriched alloy. Enriched alloy is redstone and iron. Simple enough again. And that then can be made, what do we need, 2 of those? And then we can go on to the advanced, and hopefully I've still got enough left of those. Yeah, I made 60 because I just made a ton. Just put a stack of redstone and a stack of iron in and made a stack of those. Okay, so now we've got that. Yeah. So now we've got the advanced, and the advanced will do what exactly? The advanced will do 5 at a time. That's pretty awesome. Oh yeah. Now, take those out for a second. Does it do different sorts? Yes. It does 5 at a time, and it does different sorts as well. Now, how epic is that? That's awesome, isn't it? That's pretty dang awesome. Yep, I like that. Okay. And then there's another upgrade on top of that, which again is pretty easy to do, really, considering the amount of stuff it is. I'm going to need some gold and reinforced alloys, which is diamond dust and these enriched alloys. And then these are reinforced alloys with the advanced controllers. So I got a little bit of crafting to do to get this ready, right? But the diamond dust, I've already been making diamond dust by putting diamonds into this crusher here. Put diamonds into the crusher and we get diamond dust. There is a way to do it in mechanism as well, but that was the most diamond dust per diamond that I could find a recipe for, so I did that one quickly. So right, now, I'm going to upgrade to these parts here. Okay, that didn't take long. That didn't take long at all. So we've got that into there like that, and that would give us the Elite Enriching Factory. And that is the top of tier of the enriching factories. So that should be epic. Should be epic. Well, what do we have? 3, 5, 7. So what's the elite going to be? Very, very expensive, but easy to craft enough, I suppose, right? Next up, I want to put the power supply. What I've done with the power is I've stretched it straight from the solar panel here, straight over all the way down there. So the solar panel comes down to power this directly as well, but also leads off that way. Now, the chances are good that I'm going to need to upgrade up here somewhere because the ore needs to process quickly and the power needs to come over here. And if I'm processing ore and manufacturing ore at the same time from the void, then this is going to run down fairly rapidly. What I don't want to do is to lose all of that. And the way to put everything into it. Okay, let's go around the back with the power, because we can also do item ducts around the back. And do I have some item ducts? Yes, I do. Item conduits. Sorry people. Sorry people. Item conduits down the back, and then item conduits up the top there. Okay, so that's going to go up there. But first, I want to item filter it. That's... Oh, we haven't even looked inside, have we? I'm so excited. Yeah, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 processes going on at the same time. That's awesome. Okay, so while I'm in here, I also want to pick up some more drawers. I was taking compacting drawers. I also need a bit of oak trim. And let's take those frame drawers just for now. I'll do upgrades and everything for them off camera. You've seen all the upgrade stuff before. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a filter. I'll have one in here. There we go. It's an old filter. Somebody hasn't cleaned it first when I took it away. I just broke all the places. Broke something down and took it all away. And we'll filter this. This is going to be an insert. Filtered. Aha, there's it. That's what it was. And we know for definite that we want lapis to go there. So I'm just going to filter it whitelist lapis for now. Okay? And I'm going to put a compacting drawer. Well, we're going to have like 6 things. So I'll probably have 3 compacting drawers up each side here. And put the lapis in there like that. Okay? Now, another thing that we've got going on here is that this drawer controller can connect to my overall storage network if I connect this to it, right? And then put one of those remote access in here. So I'll be able to extract from it and put the remote awareness upgrade in and then connect it underfloor to my other setup so that the ore processing stays on its own conduit and breaks off here and doesn't go down, and then this joins the rest of the system over here somewhere and just bring it down and back up again and over here. That'll work. So then everything that's in the drawers will also be on my inventory panels, okay, which is good. Yeah, it's good. Now I believe there's also an auto output, so there's purple would be the bottom, I guess, dark red, dark blue, doesn't really matter, and auto eject. So when we put this into here, it'll process it and then auto-eject, in theory. That's what I'm looking for. Don't know what everything else is exactly. Disable upgrades, security. Oh, that went that way. Oh, yes, it did. Or no, it didn't. Yes, it did. Let's take all of them out there. Let's try again. Just one more, just to test it, make sure it's working. It definitely auto-ejected, didn't it? Well, it auto-ejected to the bottom. So anything that comes in will auto-eject it to the bottom. This controller will then divert it to whichever compacting drawer it should go into, right? So I will then work through all the different things and put all the compacting drawers around it so that it works. And then this will attach all of the compacting drawers to my storage network. That should work. So let's give this a little run for its money. Now I've got the first item in there, I can just keep adding to it. Now that should be connected up and over to this over here. So we should see that the lapis ore is going to start being removed soon enough. If this was extractable, there we go. Now we should start seeing the lapis ore disappearing. Doesn't look like it is, but that's what it should be doing. Maybe I have to put an input on the back here. So on the back, that's probably that one. Purple, eject on. How to put items into it now is the problem. I need to know how to put items into it. Maybe I've got this set up wrong. Let's whitelist that. That's it. Yeah. There. Yeah. No reason why anything shouldn't be working there according to that. But I'm probably going to need to strict input on, strict input off, input there. Okay. Red. On. Are you going to start picking things up yet or what? There's got to be something to do with one of these config options. And I don't really know what they are. This is going to be front. That's going to be back, surely. That's going to be back. Strict input on. I don't think there is an input. Output. This is input in there. Maybe it just doesn't recognize it. If it doesn't recognize it, that's going to be awkward, isn't it? How can I test it? Let me figure out some testings. Okay, well, I tried a few things. Figured it out eventually. The side configuration is the only thing I needed to mess with. I was also trying to do the transport configuration to allow the different colours to come in and different channels or whatever. And that's where I thought it was probably coming in, the transporter config, to bring the transported items in. But in actual fact, it's just a side config. This is input to the dark red, and this is output to from the dark blue. Dark red, dark blue. And now it is filtering through all of my lapis ore. All the lapis ore is coming in from over there, getting sorted, going down into there, and adding up very slowly but surely into this compacting drawer, which is epic, awesome, perfect, all at the same time. I'm going to do that for every single thing that needs to go through the elite enriching chamber so that things can automatically come in from the factory and get processed, stored away in block form. There is not really something that I want to do with ores on here. I believe that this is kind of the last process. The enrichment chamber is the last process for putting normal dusts in and getting ores out. So it should be the same sort of thing. So I might make the second one here and have a second little run along here for ores as well. But I don't know enough about the different tiers of the technology as yet. So I will be dealing with that and testing it out and messing around over the course of now and next episode. And I'll show you my findings next episode and hopefully have a few bits of the more advanced processing to do. I don't think there's too much to worry about for the first few tiers, so I'm just going to get that cracking on. And then when we get into the higher tiers, tier 3, we need all sorts of liquids pumped in and all sorts of other strange processes happening along the way. But that is all I've got time for today's episode. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.